everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Kaiju Kingdom podcast. We are your hosts,
Jessica Sang.
And I am Chris Eaton. It's been a couple of weeks, but it has been a momentous couple of weeks. There's been a lot going on. Has there not, Jessica? If I just kind of stumbled my words right there.
No, it's no problem. No, it's been a really, really great couple of weeks, and I apologize for those who can hear Game of Thrones battles in the background. My wonderful friends are watching that while I am here recording a podcast. However, as you know, Chris said, momentous, the battle started. So I was like, perfect music cue.
Almost apropos.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
but that was a good.
Go ahead.
Oh no! I was going to say it was good. It was good weeks.
It was
very
good
weeks.
We have a lot to talk about on this show. Unlike the other shows where we kind of just drone on, there is actual stuff going on. We are T-minus 2 weeks away from the release of Godzilla. Things are starting to really ramp up. I'm getting that giddy feeling again, like I was as a child. Whenever I get a new copy of G-Fan and be like, "Here's the next movie," I'm like, "Oh my god!" So and let me be a little clear. Look, I have loved all the stuff that's come out so far. I've loved everything that Legendary has done. I've been very happy. But the thing was, though, they haven't really put out the razzle-dazzle trailer, really showing off, hey, some stuff is going to go down in this movie. They've really focused on the atmosphere, on the fact that they're taking this thing really seriously. It is the Dark Knight of Godzilla movies, and that's exactly what I want. But I think a lot of people, including myself, have just been a little tiresome of just the gentle tease that they've been giving us in each trailer, where they're just like, yeah, here's a little snippet of him, little snippet. We're just showing you some destruction and the acting chops of Bryan Cranston. That all changed about 48 hours ago when I came home, sat down from a long day at work, popped up my screen, and what does my alert point out? Hey, there's a new Godzilla trailer out. I'm like, close, okay. And it is the, as they put it, the Asia trailer. So just, generally encompassing the entire continent, including whatever island nations might be out there. As you pointed out, Jessica, as a lot of people were trying to point out, they were saying it was Japanese, but it's not. You think it's Chinese?
It's Mandarin. You know what? I haven't looked at the words enough to really find out. And for everybody out there, it's not because I can't tell the difference. It's because my eyes were really focused on the trailer.
Oh,
and
yes.
I've only actually seen it twice. I actually wanted to say it's the international trailer for the Asian market.
Yes.
Because as I was explaining to my lovely Game of Thrones friends earlier, I was like, so the Asia trailer came out. They were like, a trailer about Asia. And then I was like,
the continent
no.
or the band?
Yeah, the continent or the people. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, let me back up. The international trailer that they release in all the Asian countries. And so that was what it was. But I will have to take a third look, or my first real close look to look at the words. But yes, it was very interesting. And I love the fact that I think it came up and I hear like a ding. I'm in the middle of doing something like super serious, and I see a text from Chris, and it's like, new Godzilla trailer. It's like 500 and then times, like an X, and it's got like 4 exclamation marks after that. And I looked down, and I was like, oh, okay, I better drop whatever the super serious thing I was doing. And then I looked at it, and it was amazing. And then I made everybody else I was with stop what they were doing, Like wedding planning? No, screw that. You got to watch this for 2 minutes. So no, it was really good.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to play the trailer, and then we're going to do what naturally comes next. We're going to talk about it. So here's the minute 33 international trailer for Godzilla.
Whatever it is, that's in there. Whatever it is they're guarding so carefully, it's real. God help us all.
Can you kill it?
I believe something can.
A god.
The arrogance of man is thinking nature is in our control, and not the other way around. Let them fight.
Oh, I got goosebumps.
Yes,
Every time.
it was really, really good.
Who'd have it's a minute and 33 seconds. Literally, it is the shortest trailer they put out, and yet I think that trailer alone, for everybody on the internet, sold this film. Like, this went from a sweet 65, 70 million opening to a possible 85, 90 after just those little tidbits. Oh,
I hope
God.
more than that.
Oh,
I'm hoping it breaks like $100 million. Dude, you are so elated.
Oh my God! You couldn't. Have you ever been at someone? Have you ever been like home, like during like the Super Bowl or like a big game, and you hear your neighbors screaming like yeah, over like, and you're like, wait, man, they hear screaming loud. I'm upstairs in a locked room with my stereo, and I can still hear the people next door going off. That's how I was at like 9:45 at night the other night, just like dancing around, dancing a jitterbug.
No, I was super excited when I watched it. I did one of those arm movements where I look like a woman who decided to stop her children from walking past her so they don't go out into the street and the car doesn't come and hit them. Both my arms were out like I was in some sort of flying motion. I was trying to flap my wings because I was like, oh my God, everybody stop. This is amazing. And I made everybody watch it that I was with, and they all loved it too. I had a friend, his eyes was just really big, mouth open. Another friend was like, I cannot watch any more trailers because I want this awesomeness to stay elated, and I don't want, obviously he doesn't want too much to be spoiled.
Well,
you know, he wants to be when it comes there. But that one was like his peak.
Yeah.
His peak moment.
And I think that's the beauty of this trailer. Much like the other trailers, yes, this does. There's at least the trailer's like half new footage, stuff that we haven't seen yet, or extensions of stuff we've already seen. But it being so short, it's cut in the style of the other trailer. So obviously, Legendary's like, okay, you could show this, but don't cut whoever's in the marketing department. The Legendary probably don't like, you can only give away so much, but yes, you can emphasize some more of the monster action. So.
Yeah, because we got to see Mutos in all of their glory.
Yes, especially in the flying. In the flying. Well, which right now everyone's like, oh my God, is it? Everyone keeps saying Mothra or Rodan. It's like, no, it's neither. But I give people a little, like slide, because half of them they're not real deep in the minutia of Godzilla, so they know the kind of the general look and terms of the monsters, but they're just like, oh, flying bug thing, so it's probably Mothra. It's like, no, it's not Mothra. But good, continue on.
Right. No, my favorite part is when Ken Watanabe, and I'm sorry if I, don't quote it right, but he was like, let them fight, or something like that. He just said it, and yes. I was like, yes, yes, because we want to see kaiju action.
Yes.
Also, humans, stop getting in the way. You are not helping Godzilla. Everybody take a vacation, go to the other side of the world, and just let them, deal it out as they need to.
Okay,
but that was my favorite part.
Yes. there needs to be one last poster, and it needs to feature Muto and Godzilla, and that's the tagline right there, let them fight. The second he said that, at that end, then you get the shot of, oh my God, it's a glorious shot. You see Godzilla in the background, hunched, just ready to just beat the crap out of something. Then you see the winged Muto fly right over. You get you can even see the veins in its wings, and it's hitting right for you. And part of my, I try to watch my language, but there's no other way to describe it with this scene. Some shit's about to go down. Oh. So that's my one my one word for this podcast, so I will try to keep it as clean as possible for the next. But I'm just sorry. I'm worked up about it. Okay, let's go through it. So we see this whole trailer is heavily focused on Ken Watanabe's new updated Dr. Shirazawa. It's not the same one from the original film, because I believe his first name's Inashiro. So it's a loving nod to someone else of massive Godzilla fame, but it is what it is.
Yes, and in the new hero complex with Daenerys on the front, they do a interview in the article with Gareth Edwards, and he kind of explains how this particular film falls in continuity or in canon, or is it a J.J. Abrams version?
Yeah.
Where they kind of do, and he kind of explains it into that. I mean, we probably won't go into detail, but you can all go online and see it. Go find it. I'm sure there's an electronic version of the article on there, but it kind of explains. So for those who are confustigated on what has happened, and I know that's a made-up word, so...
Yeah. So, okay. Let's just break down what we see in this trailer real quick, because it's there's so much just hitting you in the face, just so much at once. Your brain is just trying to keep up, and then you just get once it gives you like a sweet shot, you're like, oh, and then it's like a second to process it, but then something else hits. So we see some giant cocoony looking thing, and then a leg comes out. So I'm gonna throw a ballpark guess that's where the Mutos are coming from, or at least that's the emergence of the giant wing Muto taking a shot.
Yes.
We see what looks like the first attack on Las Vegas. So we know Vegas gets messed up somehow from the last trailers. Just you see the Statue of Liberty with the roller coaster in the background and all the other stuff. So you see you see a TV screen and it says earthquake in Japan, and then everything goes dark. And which really is telling about a casino, too, because how spot on they were with this. Because when everything goes dark, it's pitch black in there, because there's no windows in casinos, because they don't want you to know what time of day it is. And then when the ceiling rips off, you see some giant claw thing, kind of like insecting and rip it apart. And as you're about to get a shot of it, it cuts away. And then we get just scene after scene. There's some newer stuff. You get some shots of Bryan Cranston talking about, something's out there and you guys are lying. And then you get a shot of the wing Muto going past that building in a beautiful, just sweep. So you get, a really good idea of how he's built, how he's flying. And then they hit, you see Aaron Taylor Johnson's like, can you kill it? And then the shot of Ken Watanabe's like, no, something else can. And then you just the perfect, what goes in over the next couple of seconds is just perfectly how I want this movie summed up and how I was hoping for from day one, and they nailed it. And they say, was it a monster? It's like, no, a god. And then it was just like, oh, I got chills because it just screen goes black. And then when it says they do that flash, a force of nature has awoken, and you see the tsunami coming in, and just that shot of Godzilla slamming into the side of the Golden Gate Bridge because he's just getting bombarded with missiles. So it's just the way he was. It wasn't like clumsy, like he was grabbing to hold on to something to prevent himself from falling. Which just for me it's a great little character moment thing. And someone did take a comparison shot of that scene and Trespasser from the beginning of Pacific Rim. It's actually up on our Facebook page. You can take a look. It's pretty funny, but it's very similar. So they're both in the fog. They're both huge. It's great. And then
yes, there's something about kaijus and aliens that are just attracted to our beautiful red bridge of the north.
Yeah.
It's like, yep. It's like, nope. I'm going to go for that bridge first. London Bridge, no. Let's just go with the San Francisco Golden Gate.
So, which is ironic because in the first American attempt, well, I should say the second American attempt, but the original Sony draft, the one that Jan de Bont was supposed to do back in like 94, 95, the first time we really see Godzilla appear in public, he attacks San Francisco of all places and breaks down the bridge, heads inland until they stop. Before they stop him with some crazy kind of MacGuffin device that they created in the film, but that's for another podcast. And then you get that, just you get the arrogance of man thing. You see the shot of the Halo troopers coming down, and then just that beautiful tagline, just let them fight. And freaking they tease you so well. Just it's the perfect amount. It's like, here is your money shot. This is why you're gonna drop $20 on this film, and possibly more money for the next 2.5 weeks. That's what you're gonna do. That shot right there of Godzilla and Muto about ready to clash. God, I can't process anything right now. I'm so happy. That's just how I'm very happy.
I can tell you are like elated, like
I am
walking on sunshine.
And I've been this is what I've been wanting since the marketing has begun. It's just like, give me something like this to just really pump me up, because look, they're dealing with a lot of the hangover of the Sony stuff still. There's a lot of people like, oh, it's Matthew Broderick, blah, 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 blah. You got to realize, even though it was 16 years ago, that movie's still fresh in a lot of people's minds, because for a ton of people, that is their only take on Godzilla. And not only that, it was a really bad take as well. Just, I mean, I went back and watched the movie not too long ago. It didn't hold up well then. It still does not hold up well, because the plotting is all over the place, and it does the one thing that is the weakest thing of any, they could have done. They copped out on focusing on Godzilla the whole time, so they can focus on the one-note characters and dealing with the little baby Godzillas, because at the time they were aping Jurassic Park, because they're just like, all right, well, raptors are big in Jurassic Park, we gotta have something raptor in here. Cloverfield does the exact same thing when they need to take a break from the giant monster stuff outside, and they deal with the little parasites in the subway. That whole that's, to me, it's lazy writing. But again, another podcast, another time. I'm talking about Godzilla here. This, on the other hand, this is exactly what me and I think everyone wants when they start seeing this stuff come out. And this trailer, honestly should be playing on American TV right now. That's just me, though.
Yes, I think, in a way, I was surprised it was only for the Asian markets, but in a way, obviously, I'm not surprised, because Japan wants to know, did you do our character justice?
Yeah.
However, I feel like for the Americans, or for those in a different type of Western culture who know the character but are not that familiar, who's also, tired of just now becoming familiar with only his back, spine, and his tail, they should see this trailer. It should also be just released also here in North America, or in England, or in the, the majority English-speaking countries. Because, my friends are like, for the longest time, they're like, okay, so we know the back of him, like the back of my hand. We don't know what the front of him really looks like, at least for this movie, because they haven't seen enough. But I think that this should also be released here, on TV or whatever, so people who don't go online or don't go on YouTube, or older generation, or kids that are too young, at least if they see it on TV, I think, every ticket sale counts.
Yes, it does. Every ticket sale does count. I mean, I don't know what the stance is, because now that Legendary has broken away from Warner Brothers, I don't know if because I think Legendary has the rights to the property, so even if this movie does well, and they do garner, obviously they want a franchise. I mean, that's what every studio wants nowadays, even the smaller ones. So they're hoping, that we're going to make more of these. I'm curious whether or not Universal's going to pick it up and go from there. I mean, it's something I've been kind of like thinking on. I mean, depending on how the box office does, hopefully it does.
Right.
Hopefully it does big. I mean, already it's tracking better than Pacific Rim was. Part of it is obviously because of name brand recognition.
Yes, and they've already got an established and built-in audience.
And it's just, I do think that a lot of people are wanting to see something like this from Godzilla since the advent of Jurassic Park, when it's like, okay, we can do this with computer effects now. Okay, let's see what we can do with other stuff. And it's taken 20 plus years to get to this point, but now we're finally here. I think that's why I do believe that's why a lot of people are excited. That, and the fact that this movie doesn't look like anything else that's coming out this summer either. So, I mean, it just has a wicked style all its own.
Yes, it is something that I would take everyone I know to go see it. And, same thing with Pacific Rim, but there are just some movies that you may love, but you can't really take everybody to.
Yeah.
Because there's too much explaining for you to have to do, like, why is the raccoon talking? Why is there a tree that sounds like Vin Diesel? But, even my mom would be like, yep, I know Godzilla. Not just, I mean, even if I wasn't screaming the word, Gojira as a child, my mother would still recognize that character because it's an international, great, well-known classic character. I think even this, my mother would go see because, the trailer looks good and does it justice. Certain trailers, no matter how good they are, like, I don't know if she would see Pacific Rim. I don't know if she would see Guardians. I don't know if she'll see, a few other movies, but Godzilla is an internationally recognized character. I think, the way it was marketed, the way it's done, people will go see it. Even people who don't understand or know all the villains can at least recognize or know who that main character is. Like, my parents, as we always use our family members as the constant. But they may not know Masura Rodan and King Ghidorah and Mecha. They may not know those, but they know Godzilla. So they know that character.
Yeah.
So I think for that, and combined with such a great trailer and marketing, the marketing people are very on point, knowing what exactly what day, what time to strategize and put out these things for the public. Then I think this is a movie that, like you said, will have a broader audience. And I think it's going to do really well. I hope so.
I hope so. I've already got my IMAX screening lined up. I'm going Thursday night because Legendary and Warner Brothers said, much like they did with Pacific Rim, they're giving away an IMAX poster. So...
oh, yes.
Yeah, oh, God. It's pretty awesome, too. It's I have it up on the Facebook page. It's a Japanese flag, with the rising sun. Obviously it's supposed to be like a nice kind of sun in front. Then there's a beautiful image of Godzilla, and he's over San Francisco, like just towering over it. But it's very well done. There's like two little soldiers like firing up at him. It's kind of adorable. But yeah, this looks on par with the IMAX poster that they put out for Pacific Rim last year, which I got like 3 of them sitting around here somewhere because I kind of sweet talked the girl at the front of the ticket booth, like, hey, can I get a couple more? Like, I don't care. Turns out a lot of people who work for mainstream theaters don't care about their jobs. So, yeah, and my buddy George managed to grab, we went back 2 days later to see another movie, and he walked up there asking us, like, hey, do you know those Pacific Rim posters? Like, we got this one. It was the one designed by the guy that does Metal Gear Solid. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. I know people are yelling at me too. But it's the one with Gypsy, all chromed out with the blades on it. We got like 900 of those because we just took what they didn't get rid of. So
that's good. I'm hoping that there will be posters because I don't know if I am seeing it in IMAX. However, as I'm going to have to give this out, May, by the time you guys listen to this, May is my birthday month. And by month, I mean, no, I'm not taking a whole month off to celebrate. I wish I could. But someone asked me, it's like, oh, so you're one of those people. I was like, no, I just happen to be born in the month of May. And so friends have already bought tickets for my birthday for that. But we are seeing it Thursday night. We're seeing it D-box seats style.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Yeah, so basically, for those who don't know or have not been to amusement parks in a while or fairs, D-box seats is each individual seat that you sit in the theater. It moves with the motion of the movie. So if Godzilla is walking, much like Jeff Goldblum's character of Jurassic Park, your chair ripples. Your chair feels like it's kind of feeling the effects of the ground shaking. If you're on a boat or Thor is flying, your chair kind of sways. And, for those, just quick disclaimer, because they do that if you are pregnant or you are inebriated, they ask you not to sit in those chairs. Also, they give you like a piece of paper. It's like this long yellow warning paper. Also, for those who, want to be with their families but gets motion sickness at a drop of a hat, each chair allows 4 levels.
Oh, yeah.
So it's no movement, low, medium, and high, in which I say nothing less than maximum.
Exactly.
So I will do it. But, tickets are a little bit more, like $3 more. Check your local, places. And just Google D-Box seats and you'll find the website and it'll lead you to all of the theaters around the nation that has it. But, I don't know. For those who are going, the IMAX poster, I believe, is for what Chris is talking about. The D-Box seats, you're going to have to check with your local theater.
You're going to do a little searching, yeah, because we got a theater down here in Anaheim right across the street from Disneyland that has D-Box. So whenever there's a Fast and Furious movie that comes out, that's where we see it opening night. Because those seats were made for a movie like that. Like, we saw Fast 5 in D-Box, and it was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. Because every time, like, Dom's car, like, bolts up or something like that, the whole seat rocks with it. And yeah, the second I get into it, even before they turn it on, I jump it to max. So there's no other way to do it. So I didn't get to see Pacific Rim. I kept kicking myself, but since it was around Comic-Con, I was so damn broke that I couldn't pay for the $18 to go see it over at my theater down here. But I already have I think either Friday night or Saturday night lined up. No, yeah, Friday or Saturday lined up because I got to take my dad one of those nights, and I told him, like, since he lives right around the corner, I'm like, we're doing it this way. So he's like, he hasn't seen, he just recently saw his first 3D movie, like modern 3D movie. I took him to go see 300, and he's just like, and then I'm like, just give it a chance. So he's a 58-year-old man. Once the movie ended, he's like, wow, that just blows away anything I ever saw as a kid with those crappy red and blue glasses. I'm like, I know, it's really awesome. It's like the blood was just coming right at you, wasn't it? He's like, oh my god, it was great. So he's excited for Godzilla. He loves monster movies. And I showed him the trailer for this. He's like, oh son, this is exactly what they should have done years ago. Why didn't they do it like that? I'm like, because the right people weren't in charge. That's always what it comes down to. Yeah, my dad's a giant man-child, so I'll take a tape recorder. I'm gonna try to get his reaction when we come out watching this, because I took him to see Captain America, and Cap's like his favorite superhero of all time. He hated the first movie, like just like crapped all over. He's just like, it's like, man, that movie was just weak, and that was the one he was looking forward to the most. So Cap 2 comes out, and he's like, I'm like, you want to go see Cap? He's like, yeah, I'll go see it. And we walked out. He's like, oh my god, that's exactly. That's what I've been seeing in my head since I was like 10. That's what they. He goes off. He's in many ways kind of like an old woman. He just can't believe that it's like, where has technology come? I'm just like, it's just the modern age, Dad. Just how we live today.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And I will definitely have to put a bookmark in it. I would love to know later off of podcast why your dad did not like the first Captain America movie.
Yeah.
Because to me, it was a period piece that worked well.
I'll give you one little thing. He hated the costume.
Yeah, okay.
That a lot of that for him is make and break, because he's a huge comic book. Like, he grew up in the 60s and 70s, and he loves guys like Neil Adams and stuff like that. But Cap was like Cap and Daredevil are his two all-time favorite like comic characters ever, and he hated the Daredevil movie. And then he hated this. He hated the first Cat movie. He loved Avengers, and he absolutely loved this new Cat movie. So, and I know
that's great, though.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he really liked the second one. At least he wasn't like, didn't like the first one. I'm out.
Yeah.
Not seeing the second one.
No, he's that.
I'm glad he gave it a chance.
Yeah. No, he's willing to give just about anything a chance. So, but enough about my father. Let's talk about something else. Talk about something we made promise to the people on our last podcast, but we did not technically live up to, mostly because both of us were working our butts off. WonderCon was a week and a half ago in the lovely city of Anaheim, California, my very backyard. Jessica and I were both there. If you have followed us on the Facebook, I posted a couple things, and now I'm living up to my promise of recapping what we saw at that show. So let's break down to the big thing first. Saturday, the Warner Brothers panel. I managed to get in. Jessica, on the other hand, had to go do some other stuff, because at conventions, she literally becomes multiple man and like goes 20 different places. Like literally, she has to clone herself just to do everything that she has to do. So I got in. Jessica, what did you go do?
I actually had to go and deal with something over with Legendary, and it was this whole thing. But obviously, the end of it was I got to see. This is where Chris and I make a good team. He does the one thing, and I can go do something else, and I can live vicariously through his updated tweets or texts. When he was like, "Oh, not all the seats are filled. Hey, safe seat for you. Oh, trailer about to start." I get like a 10-second play-by-play from him. But I managed to get, while he's watching footage, I managed to get 2 of the posters that they were exclusively giving out to sign because, as Chris likes to coin it, Chris had to do a Sophie's Choice moment. And so Jesse had to go grab the posters because he was not able to. And I think for Chris it was because I don't know why they do it. They always put autograph signings of posters very close to the time of whatever panel it's on. Not always, but some conventions do. And as for those who haven't been to conventions or whatnot, it is almost impossible to do both, even if they're back-to-back, because there's such a long line. They'll give out tickets and wristbands in order for you to get the posters or get it signed. But if Chris were to do that, then he can't wait in line to go into the panel screening of the panel screening the new trailer. So Chris went to go do that while I went to go hunt down posters. So, and I was able to snag 2 and, wonderfully. And then after that, I went to go hunt down Chris to go give one of them to you. I don't know. I didn't get to see your reaction when you looked at it. I don't think I was there.
No, you actually handed up. No, you handed. Well, we met up on the floor. It was literally, I think, like 2 hours later too. Because I had snuck my dad in, and he was off buying some stuff. So I had you and 2 of the guys from our site all converging at once. So my buddy from the site shows up, and then you literally show up like a minute later. You say hi to everybody, and then you're like, here you go. You had like an interview with the DC guys or something you had to go run off and do. So literally like like a tiny Asian Tasmanian devil, you came and went. And I was just left holding a poster. I'm just like, oh, neat. Very sweet. So, but yeah, I did get up. I came early because knowing the Anaheim Convention Center as I do, they are far more strict than, say, like San Diego is with people lining up. D23, they wouldn't let anybody line up until at least 5:45, almost 6 in the morning for like the first 10 a.m. panel. So people were just kind of hanging up, but they were shooing everyone away. So I got up. I woke up actually kind of late. I was just like, oh God, I'm not going to get anything. It was like 8 o'clock already. Mind you, I live 10 minutes, literally from my front door to the entrance of the Anaheim Convention Center. But it's still a matter of parking and walking and stuff like that. So I'm checking Twitter. I'm checking. I follow a couple of people that were keeping tabs on it, and literally the one guy that I was like, "Oh, there's plenty of line. There's plenty of room to get into the arena. So if you get down here like next hour, you'll get in." I'm like, "Oh, sweet." So get in there, hop in line, no problem. Skid. I'm on the right where the bleachers end, because it's the arena. Literally is that. It's an arena. It's like a giant. It seats like almost 7,000 people open, but the way they have it, they cut off half of it, and they put like a giant screen and the podium and all that stuff for the Q&As, and so it seats about almost 4,000 people when it's done like that. So they pull out the bleachers on the floor, because there's like a bowl normally where they play basketball games, so there's a higher up. So I'm sitting fairly close, so I got a good spot. Not right in front, but not far away. And I'm sitting there. I'm holding a spot the entire time for Jessica as they're yelling at everyone, fill in all the seats, blah blah. I got my backpack and everything, and everyone's just like, "Is that seat?" I'm like, "Yeah, she's in the bathroom. Go away." Just for the hopes that if Jessica could make it, bottom of the line, she could still sit. Unfortunately, she couldn't. But since I'm a big guy anyway, I just kept the seat for myself, so that way I had some elbow room. Yes, it was a bit of a dick move, but when you're crammed in next to other people of your size, it's not comfortable, especially in like little tiny fold-out chairs. So I did it for other people, so that way they don't have to sit next to me and smell me. But anyway, the Warner Brothers panel was awesome. Real quick, they showed a new trailer for the Edge of Tomorrow, the new Tom Cruise movie. It's pretty much Groundhog's Day meets Starship Troopers. That's the best way you could put it.
I was going to say, yep, he relives every day.
Yeah.
When did they show you was the Godzilla? It was toward the end.
Godzilla literally was the capper. So, but it was so weird because this panel was almost catered to everything I love in life. Because Edge of Tomorrow is based on a book called All You Need Is Kill that I love dearly. I love this book. And they had Bill Paxton come out, and I love Bill Paxton. And all he did was just play up to the crowd. They barely talked about the movie. All he was doing was screaming, "Game over, man, game over," and everything else. So, and I think he got a couple of Hail Hydras off in there too. So that was that. Then there was that tornado movie, Into the Storm, that came out. And I'm a natural disaster, but tornadoes are like my big thing. So, and I love Twister. So this pretty much looks like that kind of film. And then they brought out Gareth Edwards. And Drew McWeeny of HitFix was hosting the panel. So he gives everything. It's just like, I'm pretty sure like a lot of you, this is the one thing everyone got here early to see. And everyone was just like, yeah, okay, we know what's coming. So let me introduce the director, Gareth Edwards. Gareth came out, very humbled and British. It's like, thank you very much. Just doing this whole thing. It's just like, they talked for a minute, and then they did their, their little shtick, their little tease. It's like, it's like, Drew was like, I heard you brought something. It's like, yeah, I know, but I don't think the people want to see it. And then everyone's just like, yeah, okay, just show it. Like, kind of like that. We know you brought something. Don't play games. Sometimes they like to play games, but at this point, everyone's just like, no, they're like crack addicts. Like, we need her fixed now. Everyone's like twitching and shaking. It's just like, show us. So, like, all right. So the lights went down, and I got a little addendum to the story. Remind me when I'm finished. So the footage comes up, and immediately I recognize what it is. It's the South by Southwest footage, which they said still not done at that point. Like, there was still some rough CG. Luckily, it looked like it was 90% complete, but you could still tell like some scenes that are still very rough. But what I read off like 3 podcasts ago, this is what I got to see now. So literally, it's the tram stopping in Honolulu at the Honolulu airport. You see Aaron Taylor Johnson hanging out on this tram. Looks at this little kid. He's like, I'll be fine. It's gonna pop up in a couple minutes. Then we smash cut to some soldiers running through a jungle, and you hear some noise and you see some flames in the background, and something's going on. Then we cut to a scene on the beach, and this little girl walks out, and she's like, huh, and you see all the waves retreating. Then we get to the scene we see in the trailer of Ken Watanabe on the aircraft carrier, and you see something swelling, and then you see the spikes. And you see one spike coming right at him, and then it goes right underneath, and they give you that shot of Godzilla passing underneath these 3 or 4 aircraft carriers. And then he kind of resurfaces and just parts the sea. It's his whole back is exposed at that point. And then that's when you get the scene of the dad grabbing the girl, everyone running from the beach, and of course there's the dog tied up because everyone's in a panic and leaves the dog. So as the waves are crashing in, the dog snaps the leash and just hauls butt, runs past everyone, so you know the dog's fine. The dad has got the girl in his arms. She's looking behind him, and there's just 50-foot wall of water's coming at everyone. Everyone's just running and screaming. He runs into a building. It's a glass, like, storefront, too, so I'm shocked that, they didn't do the whole thing with the glass breaks from the water pressure. And so they showed the tsunami kind of overtaking downtown Honolulu, or at least close to it as possible. It then gets real quiet for a second. All the power goes out. And you see that shot in the trailer of the 4 flares go up. And you see just, like, neck, chest of just Godzilla. And he's just moving. It's just a mass. And you kind of hear him just moving. There's, like, a slight kind of, like, kind of sound. And there's a bunch of military guys on the rooftop. And all of a sudden, they just start opening up on him. And, like, he's just moving. Like, nothing's going on. Like, doesn't even notice it. The guys even stop. They're like, oh, like, he doesn't even realize we're here. So they don't do anything. You just see his tail whip around a building and take off. That's when we come back to the tram. And the lights kick on. Aaron Taylor Johnson turns to the kid. He's like, "See, I told you." And so you hear things like, "Welcome back to Honolulu Airport," blah blah. And the lights go up on the rest of the trailer track. And then as the last light shows up, bam, Muto. And it's just walking around, and it sees the trailer, and everyone's like, "Oh crap!" And the trailer starts moving, and Aaron Taylor Johnson's like, "Oh, this isn't good." So as it's starting to get closer, 2 helicopters zoom in and start unloading on this thing. Doesn't even bat an eye at him. Aaron Taylor Johnson yells at everyone, "Get down, get down!" So they all get down. The helicopters are they're just repeatedly just firing at and you see there's more than one. There's 2 of them moving around. So we get from the helicopter perspective as they're just firing. Finally, the tram comes up towards the Muto, and it just rips it in half. It's that scene you see in the trailer where Aaron Taylor Johnson leaps as something tears apart this tram. It starts slanting, the track's broken, so the trailer's kind of leaning over. People are falling out, and it's not like it's like, "Oh, no," and people are just like falling to their deaths. So the little kid he was talking to starts sliding. He's holding on to a corner. Aaron Taylor Johnson grabs the kid, and we cut back to the helicopter perspective. It's coming back around for another roll and unloading on the Muto, and another one pops up in its way and kind of like puffs its wing and just knocks the helicopter out. And what we see at this point is one of the servicemen for the planes at the airport, and a bunch of water rush past his legs, but he's just so entranced by what's going on, he doesn't even notice the water. And the helicopter catches fire. He got hit by the Muto, starts spinning out, slams into a plane, and we see this from the perspective of the terminal. So there's this huge explosion. People are running inside this terminal, and it causes a chain reaction explosion. Bam, 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 bam. And this is the part where everyone's just like in awe and silence. And then this happens. So the last explosion, huge explosion, and what do you see? A giant foot just slammed down on the ground, and the place goes ballistic. There's a huge clap, like, "Oh my god." They cut back to the Muto. The Muto looks up, sees what the foot is connected to, kind of makes this hissing sound, kind of like the spitter in Jurassic Park. And then we get this beautiful reveal. It's just from the leg up, and it gives you a size comparison of the Mutos to Godzilla. So the camera just kind of rolls up like it does in the new trailer, and just rolls up, and then finally you get the full body shot. It's Godzilla. He's standing there, and it is perfect. People start going ballistic, the whole arena pops, and it's just he is perfect. He's standing there, his arms are kind of hunched. He's hunched over, like a person that got woke up out of bed, hearing some bad news, and now he's got to go deal with it. Literally, he's just got this angry, pissed off look on his face, and he roars at the screen, goes black. The whole arena's up on their feet, clapping. That's the footage.
Yes, and I actually have a couple of thoughts as I was trying to hold back laughter, not at your description, but because of the fact that, first off, for those who don't watch Parks and Recreation, please go see that show. There's an episode where Leslie Knope is doing her speech. Not a speech, but it's kind of when all the candidates need to come and talk about why they would be good to be, city councilor for Pawnee and all this stuff. The cable is not working at Andy Dwyer and April Ludgate's house. So Andy, played by Chris Pratt, Guardians of the Galaxy, decides to entertain all the sponsors who are at their house who had sponsored Leslie Knope by acting out all of his favorite movies. So he's doing all these favorite movies. He's talking, he's stomping around, he's making shooting sounds. He's duck and rolling on the floor. He goes, "And that, my friend, is Die Hard." And he does that. And as you're describing this whole thing, you remind me of that entire scene of Andy Dwyer just imitating the voices talking, and he goes, "And then I said I'll be back." And that was Terminator. It was hilarious. I could see you physically act out this entire WonderCon South by Southwest thing. But I love the way you were describing.
There were some hand movements. I'm a very hand guy. I do a lot of that. But yeah, so
yes,
yes,
yeah. No, but it was awesome. But you saw that.
Yes, I saw
didn't get. I got to see it days later, when a WonderCon attendee decided to leak that footage online, and so I got to see it online. However, I do want to say Godzilla must be the most courteous kaiju because he goes under that boat like a just trying. He goes, nope, don't want to kill you guys, going under. But I'm sure that's just the way he swims. However, you text me right after the trailer a couple days before. It's like, oh, the dog survived. I'm watching this trailer, and as that happens, and I'm like, no, the dog does not survive. I refuse to believe it. That is a lie. Christine lied to me 3 days ago. He lied to me.
I did not lie. The dog gets away.
You think that we don't, as an audience from the trailer, we don't see it, but the idea is, like you said, some of the characters went into
They went
into the store.
Yeah,
of
the
grocery
door.
store,
The
but as
dad.
you walk,
Yeah. So the dad
but
carrying
as you
the
see
dog.
that entire flooding, though,
Yeah,
but
you
with
do.
all that flooding, I would think it would have drowned the dog and everyone who's in it, because you see people trying to climb on top of cars.
Yeah.
You see people doing it. I'm sorry, I'm really hung up about the dog. I'm a dog person. But, people get sad when the dogs die in the movie.
Yeah, they
But
do.
I was like, as I was watching that, I was like, Chris, the dog does not survive. He lied to me in text. But, I was like,
The worst
no.
lie of them all through text.
I know. But however, when you were describing, because this is WonderCon footage, the part where you see Godzilla's foot come down, I do see what you're talking about, because the screen kind of shakes, and also I can hear everyone cheering in the arena. Everyone freaks out. I also want to say we as a moviegoers and humans have become very good at recognizing major characters just by a foot coming down, whether it's Nick Fury from a helicopter or, a woman's high-heeled foot coming out of a Lamborghini. We already know she's like the main character's girlfriend. We're cheering before we even see the whole character. But then the foot comes down, everybody explodes, and then you see the whole character. I'm screaming alone in my kitchen with nobody around me to enjoy my screaming with me. But no, it was really, really good. And the hissing sound, you are correct. It's very reminiscent from Jurassic Park. But no, it looks really, really good. Of course, I see humans as the pests in this trailer, but they didn't know. They're probably going to do one of those classics where they think that they're both enemies. It might be the off chance that humans might think both of them come from the same, like they associate them both as the enemy, but maybe only Ken Watanabe is like, no, one of them is not technically, but kind of on our side.
Yeah.
The other one isn't. There's many movies where the humans associate, like, Batman's fighting Joker. Oh, they must be on the same side. Why?
Yeah,
I never
understood that.
You never understood that logic, right, of characters who are like, you two are fighting, you must be on the same side of the law. Must be. But I think that's kind of what will happen, at least. And then, obviously, we saw from the new trailer, he says, let them fight.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he sheds light and lets people know, like, don't bother the one thing that's pretty much keeping humans from extinction.
Well, I can tell you this. Like, now I'm completely sold on the design, though. Just the way they got the two things. Because when this is going back a little bit, but at Comic-Con 2012, so I didn't get into the Pacific Rim panel where they showed the first, the concept trailer for this. I was just angry, so I went to the Legendary booth just in a pissy mood. Like that whole day was screwed for me because I was in line for 8 hours and I didn't get into that panel. So I was there, and then I walk up, and literally this girl hands me something. It's like, you want to come back for the signing? I'm like, what's the signing for? She's like, oh, Gareth Edwards, and I believe it was Max Bornstein at the time, too, for Godzilla. I'm like, yes, take that. So I'm like, what time is it at? It's like, it's later today, like at 5. I'm like, I'll be right there. So 4:45, I show up, like, where's the line? Like, oh, well, you're the first one. Here, start here. So I'm first one in line. So I got all my luggage, my poster tubes, because I look like not to stereotype, I look like an Asian tourist when I'm at Comic-Con. I'm just wrapped in bags and cameras. So it's really almost sad in its own way, because you can't even see the cool T-shirt I'm rocking at the time because there's just so much other junk over it. But I go up, Gareth Edwards sits down. They're signing these little postcards, and pretty much they're just like, Gareth. He's like, oh, thanks. I'm like, I had to tell him one thing. I'm like, okay, first thing, let me give one thing straight. So originally when I heard they, someone erroneously reported Guillermo del Toro was making this movie, I jumped. And then they said, no, that wasn't true, so I was kind of iffy. But then they announced you, and I had seen Monsters at that point. And I did a backflip. I was just like, yes, this is the perfect guy to do this movie. And he was like, legit, like, he kind of like, he looked at me, he's like, really? Like, that you got that from Monsters? I'm like, well, because I told him, it's like, it was the tone you had with Monsters is what I'm hoping you take that and put it to Godzilla. And he's like, oh, and then I believe, and I'm not 100% sure it was Max, but I'm pretty sure it was Max Bornstein. He kind of leans over, and is like, dude, don't worry, we got this. I swear we have this. So you're gonna love what you see. So I just asked him one thing. It's like, are you guys making him a character, or is he just an effect in the background? And Gareth said, it's like, no, he is the star of the film. He's not the effect. He is one of the cast members. So that is what, don't worry about that in. So thankfully they have gotten that down from what I've seen so far. Because that shot, when they pan up, it's not just, hey, it's just another, like, it's not like, the Jurassic Park thing where it's just like an animal that's kind of thing. Like, literally, there's, like, it's like the Japanese version. There's, thought going on. There's expression. It's just the angry, just surly look he has on his face, just like literally, as I said, like, he woke up and he's got to go deal with something, and he's like half asleep. He was he was dreaming nice dreams, and literally someone shook him. It's like, hey, someone hit your car, and they're still outside. Now he's got to go take a lead pipe and go beat the crap out of that guy. That is the look he had on his face, and it was just spine tingling perfect. So
that is a great way of use of words.
And you know what the design looks to me now? Now that I've really seen it in movement, it looks like the like an Americanized version of the Godzilla Mothra King Ghidorah look. The big kind of mixture of like a dinosaur and crocodile, where he was like real fat. His arms are kind of they're chubby themselves. Like, everything's like heavy on him. There's just mass, but that there's like, it's like muscle mass. Like, he looks like kind of looks like an old school pro wrestler, like King Kong Bundy, where it's like, yeah, he's kind of a fat dude, but he can snap you in half with just his 2 fingers. So that's and it works for me. Like, from certain shots, like, especially the toys, the way that the toys are kind of molded. Like, I've been looking at them, it's like, man, I don't know, but now that I've seen the motion, yes, it works perfectly. And by the way, some of the toys that are out on the shelves right now are kind of crappy. I don't know if you've seen them yet, Jessica.
I have been to Toys R Us and Target to see the toys. The movie toys are all right. I can see why you say that, but also they're having a wave of the original classic Godzilla toys, because there's a King Caesar.
Yes, that's
and then
the original Bandai stuff.
A few other ones.
Yeah.
Yep, I was very shocked to see that. I had friends who were like, what is that mutated ape? So
it's like, that is King Caesar, sir, and he owns big time.
Yeah, but, I actually like the classic toys a little bit more right now than what they're putting out for the movie.
Yeah.
But I haven't really gone hunting for the toys yet, because I kind of need a little bit more time for that. Maybe after this weekend, I'll probably have some more time to go hunting for them.
Well, me being the giant kid that I am, I hit Toys R Us's, like, the 3 of them that are on my way to work, usually coming home. And Nika hasn't put out their crop of stuff yet, which is what I'm really waiting for. And I have been unable to find the giant Jax figure, because it turns out that only 2 get shipped per shipment in 1 box. So the second they hit the shelves, there are people like me who buy both of them and turn around and flip them on eBay. So the current asking price on eBay is $135, even though the thing sells for $50 retail. So I'm either going to have to wait until the demand dies down, or eventually just fork out the cash and overpay for the thing. But the Bandai stuff, I haven't really, the current crop of stuff, I haven't really been sold on. It's just like, because here's the thing with Bandai. They do great work when they really want to, and then they do really half-ass work the other times. And the kind of current crop of Godzilla stuff that they put out is more in line with the half-assed stuff than the really cool stuff. If you want to see really cool stuff, go look at their Ben 10 figures that they have around the corner. Those are really awesome figures. And you go around and you look at the Godzilla stuff, it's like, did you guys outsource this to, like, freaking, like, Canada or something? This is, like, low, subpar even for you. So, I know that the NECA figure, the main Godzilla figure for the new movie from NECA, is slowly trickling onto the market right now. So, this weekend, I'm going to be checking it out because I get paid. So, I need something to... I haven't gotten anything cool in a while. And I do know that NECA has put out, like, an initiative now because a lot of people have been complaining that, hey, we can't ever find your stuff unless it's on the secondary market, and usually at double price. It's been an issue with the Pacific Rim figures. So NECA put out a thing on their Facebook and Twitter like a week and a half ago, like, okay, we've heard all the complaints, we've taken it into account, so what we're doing now is we have sent like double the stock of all of our current lines to, you know, every Toys R Us and every other major retailer that carries our stuff. What we want you to do is go and take a picture to make sure that A, these people are putting it out, and B, that they're well stocked. Send us a picture. If there's some weird contest that get going with it, like if you send them a picture and the place isn't properly stocked, they'll give you like a discount or something like that. I have to double check. But I was happy to see that there are actual Pacific Rim figures on store shelves that I can purchase at a non-inflated price finally. So I can finally go get my Cherno Alpha next week.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I was looking forward to that one. Cherno Alpha is one of my favorite Jaegers, and then obviously my obsession with Onibaba.
Yes.
So those two are my wonders. And if you ever want custom stuff, Etsy, like
even
the eBay of custom.
Yeah, even looking at like the plushy Onibabas, haven't you?
Yes, and there are plushy Cherno Alphas.
Shocking.
So.
People love Cherno Alpha. I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe the husband-wife
the bucket
team.
head.
Yeah. Or yeah, it is a weird design too, but people seem to love them.
Yep, they're like, oh, that couple needs to go down together. Yeah, that's our love. That is symbolic of me and my husband's love when we go see this movie. But yeah. So like, I know that NECA, like you said, was coming out with Godzilla stuff, and there'll be more.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll be seeing more that comes out along the way.
They do have the classic line too. So now they haven't announced if they're doing a Muto figure. More than likely they are. But they got a 2-size version of the movie figure, and that's coming. That's like slowly starting to trickle out. And then July, the classic line starts. So they're going to be putting out like all the different suits. They already announced like 2, I think 8, the Biollante suit, and then I think like the suit from like Godzilla vs. Smog Monster or something, like one of the 70s ones is coming out with that line too. Or it might be the later 90s ones. I'm not 100% sure on that. But they said, hey, if it sells well, we're going to do them all. So go buy those things because NECA does very good products. Even though they're a little pricey, it's well worth it.
Right. It's also about quality detail.
It is.
Quality and, you know.
Well, they are the McFarlane of this day and age, so the McFarlane toys.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about a couple other little news bits because we are already at well over an hour, so time flies. Legendary is already pumping out stuff for Godzilla. Like I said, we're 2 weeks away. They have announced a contest. Jessica actually brought this to me right before we sat down to record. So I'm going to let you handle this end. So take it away.
Oh, yeah. So I got an email from Legendary, and as I opened up and, looked at it, the first thing I thought was like, this is a Chris Eaton moment. So I forwarded the email over to you immediately. And basically, they prefer an HD, version, a video of yourself, you and your friends, kind of a reaction video to the horrors of Godzilla going to your city or your hometown. And they have a link through Legendary where you can submit that video. So it's almost like a home video or like a Cloverfield moment. And what happens is it's a contest that they'll choose various winners or maybe one winner. I didn't look at it. I looked at it close enough for me to immediately forward it to Chris Eaton. But on May 9th, they choose the winners, and then your clip will be included into like a global release.
So yeah, they're doing like a collage video.
Yes.
And
So, and if you got, for those who are interested, it is GodzillaAlert.com/submit.
And I am posting I'll have the video in the show link in the show notes, and it's also up on our Facebook page as well too.
Yep. Yep. And they said, they want you to, obviously there's a description of your thing. You have to include all this stuff like a caption, email, city and country way for them to find you. But you need to hashtag your videos, hashtag Godzilla Alert, so they don't miss them. They do prefer HD YouTube videos, but any platform would work.
Yeah.
The point of this is to capture your reaction on video of Godzilla arriving in your town. So they basically want to show kind of a tracking of Godzilla's path around the globe.
Yeah.
And, they encourage you to be as creative as possible with your videos. And, they'll be highlighting some of their favorite submissions via Godzilla Alert Tumblr. Then they're going to edit a supercut from the best that you've received. Keep in mind that videos without music will be easier to edit together into the final supercut. So, just for those who can't find the website or would like some information now, who will want to do that. So it's kind of like sharing your sighting.
Yeah.
And that was the whole purpose. And I think that's actually a really smart and really great idea. It's almost like the 24-hour happy music video with Pharrell, where they're tracking people from around the world being happy. Unfortunately, this is Godzilla coming to your town, so your happiness is dependent.
I would.
But I think it's a good marketing way too,
it is.
and to get yourself.
Because it's creative. It's something better than just hey, just put your information in here so we can put you on a mailing list and we'll give you something.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like free footage for them. They're like, we don't got to hire any more actors and get a red camera or something, and we can just put all of you guys. It's like using us as free labor.
Oh, yes.
But
We are child sweatshop labor for them.
Yeah, but the good kind. And I can totally see Chris doing a fake freak out somewhere in the middle of
Anaheim.
Anaheim.
I already know what I would do. Instead of a freak out, I would do a shot. Like, you would show... Like, this is how I would do it. So, you would show maybe like...
Are you gonna give away your secret, or are you gonna...
I don't...
Are you gonna
I
submit a video?
have a mediocre video, camera, so I might give this a shot. Just the way I'm doing it. I would have to involve some tricky editing. What I would do is maybe take a shot of maybe San Francisco in ruins, and maybe the shot of Godzilla moving away, and then it's gonna be a matter of some quick editing. But instead of running in terror, I'd be that guy in the corner, up on the building, just the single Indian tear, I just saw some trash roll down the road. And then I just hold up a red band around my fist that says "Never Forget," and then on the other side "Vengeance," and I just wrap it around my forehead, Rambo style, ready to go in for just declaring my my undying intention of bringing this creature down that's brought this horror upon my life.
I would very much see that, and I thought because you were in the lovely city of Anaheim, you would have something to do with Disneyland, which I don't know if they will. I mean, it's not for profit purpose, so I'm sure, you can always have a Godzilla foot going through the happiest place on earth.
Yeah.
The irony of that.
I'll tell you this, Disney's very, very iffy about bringing cameras in right now because of that Escape from Tomorrow movie. Have you heard about that?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, for those who don't know, back at, I think it was last year's Sundance, there was a movie called Escape from Tomorrow. And the title's referring to Tomorrowland. And what it was this dude who guerrilla shot this entire film in Disneyland, literally on rides and everything. And it's done in black and white, and it's a very weird David Lynchian style film. But it was more astonishing the fact that this dude spent a whole week, and he shot over 3 days. He stayed at the Walt Disney World, and he shot this surreal movie without nobody from the park knowing, or if they did, he might have slipped him 100 just to look the other way. But it was just people were just oh, this is going to be very uncomfortable. And the fact that Disney did not take any stance, and I think it was more the fact it's if we do take a stance, all we're going to do is just put more attention on this movie. So they just never said anything. But I think the word went around. It's just okay, anybody that has any sort of higher end camera are very suspect now. So I think like your normal little tiny, everyday little HD Sony cameras are fine, but if it has anything bigger now, they're very suspect of them. So it is an interesting movie. You should go check it. Just check out the trailer on YouTube. Just call it Escape from Tomorrow. It's really weird.
Sounds like a lot of my friends would really love it.
Mhm.
Some of my friends, I think, from film school or arts, with a very artsy background, they seem to really like it, and they like the idea of how it was done too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that. But yeah, no, I can see why that actually might be an issue to use.
Yeah.
For those who are in Anaheim listening to this, I may want to check with Disney.
Nah, don't
if
check
you're
with
gonna
Disney.
use my
Just, you
idea.
can there's ways
Yeah.
around it. You can shoot on the outside. Because you can see...
I'm sure you can shoot.
You can
the
see
outside.
from Harbor Boulevard, like across street at the McDonald's. You can shoot the entrance, and you can shoot. You get the Tower of Terror. You get big. You get Space Mountain, and you can kind of get the Matterhorn in the shot. So it's enough to get that landscape. So if you want to do something cool like that, that's about the way to do it. You're just gonna have a million people walking your way. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. And then you just CGI that foot in there.
yep.
The Gojira foot.
Mhm. All right. Well, let's do. We got a couple other little news bits, and then we will wrap this up. But we got a surprise for you guys. But let's get through this first. If you're in the LA area, this coming week, the ArcLight Cinemas will be showing the original uncut version of Godzilla at all their locations. Check their website, arclightcinemas.com. I think it's the 10th, 11th, and 12th. So it's a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So they have four like LA area locations. They have Pasadena, Hollywood. They have a South Bay one, and then there's one out towards. Oh God, where is it at? It's like near Reseda, like off the 405 somewhere. You just double check their website. So if you want to check it there, you can. I know Saturday the Egyptian Theater and the American Cinematheque is running it as well. So if you can't make any of those, you can go check that out. That's always cool. The New Beverly Cinema, Quentin Tarantino's theater, is going to be showing a double feature of King Kong vs. Godzilla and the original Mothra on 35 millimeter, because that's how they roll over there. The weekend of the 11th, 12th, and 13th. So if you want to check that out, that's really cool. It's like a big family celebration thing, so it's perfect for bring your kids, bring everyone. They'll all have a good time. The New Beverly is a really cool place to see movies. It's like a movie lovers it's kind of kitschy in a way because it literally is an old movie theater, but there's a lot of love in that room. You can always feel it. And then the big thing this weekend, if you are in the greater LA area, if you're if you are within like a 5-hour driving distance, this is something you're going to want to come and check out. There's going to be a double showing of Godzilla vs. Biollante at the Aratani Theater in LA in Little Tokyo. It's on 244 South San Pedro Street in Los Angeles. You can Google that. There's going to be 2 showings. There's going to be a 3 p.m. showing, which is English dubbed, and then there's going to be a 6 p.m. showing, which is Japanese and English subtitles for the purists. So you can come and check that out. They do have a very big special guest, FX director Koichi Kawakita. I probably butchered that name, but so forgive me. Even though I love these films, I'm just terrible with names. He's going to be there talking and doing, I believe, a Q&A. And then later that night, you can walk down the street to Anime Jungle, the premier anime store in the greater LA area. And they will have him on hand, Mr. Kawakita on hand. He's going to be showing his short film that he made. It's only had one other public screening called God of Clay. It's a kaiju film, and I've only seen a snippet of it, and from what people told me, it's really, really cool. That's actually free, so you can show for there. And then a friend of the show, Mark Jaramillo, will be screening the first bit of, or giving you a look. I don't know how to really word it, but he's going to be showing something he's putting together. He's putting together a documentary about fan films from Japan about kaijus. So he's got a bushel of really cool stuff. He was very kind enough to show us back at Kamikaze, and we should be having him in pretty soon to actually talk about this project, so just stay tuned on that. But if you want to get a sneak peek at this is at 9 o'clock. Anime Jungle in downtown LA in Little Tokyo. You can check out, and it's animejungle.com, I believe. Jessica?
Yes, actually it is animejungle.net.
.net, okay.
And like you said, there's a 3 p.m. English audio screening, a 6 p.m. Second screening, the Japanese audio with English subtitle. There is, I think what you're referring to is the model and camera demonstration. Other than Mr. Kawakita or Kawakita-san, the director of special effects, so is Iwasaki, or Saki, excuse me, of the Marbling Fine Arts Company.
Okay.
Those are two of the guests. And, Mark Jeremiah was the one who will be, he's currently working on a great kaiju documentary, very well connected in the industry. He's going to be showing possibly kind of what he's been working on. If for those who are interested in Godzilla and Wolfman, he is definitely somebody that you need to speak to for various reasons. And so he was someone who will be there. And animejungle.net, along with JACCC, which is the Japanese American Cultural and Community Center, is also a huge sponsor of this also. And I believe it's $12 for adults to buy a ticket, but it's free for children 12 and under.
Right, and that's for the Godzilla.
So it's this Saturday, May 3rd, free comic book day.
Yeah, I believe that's for the Godzilla vs. Biollante screenings. The Anime Jungle thing, I believe, is free, from what I was told. But we'll get more. When in the show notes, we'll have definite information on that. But you can check out the Facebook site, and panzercrush.com, and our Tumblr site. When you listen to this, we'll have the flyer up. It has all the information on it. But if you are within driving distance, this is something you definitely want to come and check out. This will be something awesome, and it's the fact that Mr. Kawakita is in town for this is a rare opportunity indeed. Bring some of your DVDs. Bring them down to get signed. He did most of the Heisei series. So, and God of Clay has only been screened once in Japan and has never been publicly screened after that. So this is a very big deal. And then again, if you know anything about Godzilla vs. the Wolfman, this documentary is definitely something you're going to want to check out. So do check that out.
And also, I think they may have, before I forget, I think they may have like posters or other things, or even figures, not just at Anime Jungle. If you show up, they may or may not be a contest or giveaway. I don't know, so don't quote me on that. But sometimes those things pop up at special screenings. So it might be something other than that to worth going to for something that's rare. You might get a special print or special figure. If not, those are things that you can also try to find over at Anime Jungle.
And Anime Jungle has a smorgasbord of cool Japanese. It's all Japanese import stuff. They have a whole section just dedicated to Godzilla stuff. So, and they're very moderately priced too. So, even if you're just there to show up, there's a good chance you're gonna be walking out with something. So, and if you do show up, just tell them, hey, the Kaiju Kingdom podcast just gave you the word. Just all that will do is just give us a little love back. That's all we ask. So, on that end, that is going to bring us to the end of this show. But before we go, I was lucky enough to talk to one Chris Mowry at WonderCon. Seeing as the fact that Jessica and I, being so busy we were, and the fact that WonderCon severely underestimated the popularity of some of their panels, I didn't get into the Godzilla 60th anniversary panel where they were talking about the original movie, because that was in a tiny room and there was a line going out the door and around the corner. This was a problem that was actually happening all day Saturday. The Batman 75th anniversary panel, which was in the upstairs ballroom, way too small for what the crowd that was lined up for that. So there was issues like that all day. But it was not without going out without merit, because I did get to meet one Chris Mowry who was signing at the IDW booth. And he was kind enough to give us 2 copies of Godzilla, Rulers of what is it? It's the new series. Godzilla. Oh man, I'm blanking on it. It's got it right in front of me too. I feel like a dummy. I should have had this all set to go. But yeah, anyway, the new series, issue 9 of the new series. He was kind enough to give us, Rulers of Earth. I knew it. I was right. I had it right on the tip of my tongue, and I just like that. So anyway, he was kind enough to give us a couple of signed copies. I will be giving one away today out of this podcast. Jessica.
Yes.
So how are we going to go about this?
I was timing the seconds that the title comes to you, because I didn't want to be that one jerk that interrupts and was like, no, it's Rulers of Earth, because they've had several different little subtitles. It's like Godzilla something. I almost
say Kingdom of Monsters, which was the first one.
No, actually, it's because IDW is coming out with such a great Godzilla, titles and comics. I can see how one person would get everything confused. But you're just so amped up.
Yeah.
Godzilla juice coming.
Yes.
But yes, go to our Facebook page. The moment you hear this, it will be already May. Unless you're still in California time, then I don't know. But it will be May, because it'll be East Coast when you guys see this podcast. It goes on immediately as we record this, because Chris is wonderful and works hard like that. You will have till May 1st until May 9th to come and like our Facebook page. And we will choose a winner by random. Also, disclaimer for everybody, Facebook sends all administrators emails into our box, so we'll know if we saw you unclick like and then click like if you've already liked our page prior to May 1st. So that actually will disqualify you. Please don't do that. We want to spread the love and have more people. We'll have plenty of more contests in the future. So for those who've already liked our page before May 1st, there will be a wonderful chance for you guys to win
we have something lined up for you guys right after this. So don't worry. We're not trying to be douchebags, but we are trying to kind of get our numbers up. So it's a little douchey on our part, but we promise we're not forgetting the people that have already started following us. We have something really cool lined up for you guys, and we'll have that up soon. So I'm taking a shot of all the people that like our page right now, because it's a very manageable shot. So we will know everybody who's already liked the page right now, and then for those people, we will have something cooler the next podcast, which will be in about a week. So just hang tight. We'll have something very cool for you. But in the meantime, if you're a new listener or you haven't liked our page yet, come like our page. We will choose you at random. It is issue 9 of Godzilla Rulers of Earth, signed by Chris Mowry, with a very nice little kind of annotation at the bottom. So you can get that. It's a pristine book. It's King Caesar fighting Megalon on the cover, artwork by Matt Frank. So that is up for grabs. We will choose a winner. I think we'll announce it on the next podcast. If not, we'll announce it on the next podcast.
Yes, and we will contact you guys through Facebook, through a Facebook inbox. And we can actually, guys, we will keep on updating our page to the exact date when we will be announcing the winner. But you have until, to make it fair for everybody, Pacific Standard Time of midnight. As long as it's time stamped somewhere, we will be able to see it, because we do get alerts, and we can do the math. We'll know if you're in England. If we don't want anyone with a time zone change to have a disadvantage. And also, if you guys have already liked the page, spread the words to other people that would enjoy our podcast, because just in case they win the comic, you can also live vicariously through them by borrowing that comic after they've read it.
But again, like I said, we will have something for those people. And, here, as an addendum, if you already liked our page and someone else comes to like your page, have them leave a comment of who brought you here. And we will we'll make note of that, and we'll do something with that with the next competition. So, but for right now, spread the word. That's what we're looking for. It's really cool, and I believe me, I have a couple of things really lined up. So this is actually small in comparison to some of the cooler stuff I got coming out. So. But yeah, May 9th, just, like our Facebook page, and that is it. So, Jessica, where can the good people find more of your work this week?
Oh, yay. So I've been writing some wonderful pieces, I hope. At least I would like to think that they're wonderful, over at the Realmcast. And also you can always find me on Jessica, this is all one word, the comic book girl. That's just my last name, on Facebook. I would please, just because I want to make sure I get everybody, right on track. I don't want some randos that I don't know from Nigeria just wanting to get money from me. So please Facebook inbox me. I have learned, and I apologize for you guys, to those guys who sent me a message and it went to my other folder. But please inbox me. I will check both my regular inbox on Facebook and the other folder and just say, hey, I heard you on the Kaiju Kingdom podcast. I friend you or I sent you a friend request. I would be more than happy to accept it. And you can also find me on thecomicbookgirl.com and girlongeek.com. And from all of there, you can find me on all the various social media networks. I'm a tamed down version of Justin Bieber on the social media. And
she talked about how much she loves her dogs.
Yes, I'm either talking about Godzilla, something with superheroes, or I'm like reposting dog and animal pictures.
There's a lot of BuzzFeed stuff. There's a lot of BuzzFeed stuff about just a lot of stuff about tiny, adorable dogs.
Oh yeah, I'm a dog. Well, I'm an animal person,
a lot of corgis,
but I happen to have dogs. So. Corgis. One of my best friends, she is a corgi owner, and so I have put up corgi things because I love corgis. I personally don't have one, but she has one. And so her little baby's name is Fox. Fox as in the beautiful phoenix from Harry Potter, not Fox the creature. The dog-like, canine-like, cat-like creature.
Or Fox McCloud from Star Fox?
No, that one. But it's Fawkes. So she loves from Harry Potter, the phoenix. And so I like to post those things up because I know, she sees the page and anything corgi makes her happy. And, in return makes me happy because I also love dogs and it would be great. But a lot of corgis. So for those who are confused, I do not own one, but my best friend owns one.
Out of the many other dogs you do own, though.
Oh, I do. No, I like to call huskies the long legs of the corgi world. But I have, some huskies and I have a couple of other smaller dogs. I feel so bad when they don't have homes and they've got nowhere to go, but I have not increased numbers at all.
That's good.
So
you have
for those who are on my Facebook page who's like, how many do you have? I was like, I don't have a hoarding issue. I know when to
stop. I know when I can say when. I'll tell you when I've had enough. It's like that's my drunk on dog Jessica impersonation. No, but for a petite, tiny girl as yourself, you have a massive heart. So.
Oh, thank you. I try. I feel so bad. I wish I can take them all in, but I cannot. Alas, I cannot.
I, on the other hand, have no pets, and I'm a heartless bastard. So, because I don't have I have no intentions for animals. But it's not like I go around to yelling at people. I do like animals, so that's just me trying to be fun.
Oh no! Ask if you ever see Chris at a convention. Ask him about the guinea pig
my little guinea. His name was Guinea. On that note, you could find me at therealmcast.com, where I do a majority of the work there. You can also look for stuff on panzercrush.com, the hosting site for the Kaiju Kingdom podcast. We will be up on iTunes pretty soon. I know I keep saying that, but it's actually it's actually rolling. So hang tight. We'll have something. We'll have something for you soon when we do hit iTunes finally. Find it on the Facebook and on the Tumblr site. Jessica, on that note, where can people find more of our stuff for the Kaiju Kingdom podcast?
Yes, so we have a beautiful Tumblr page, the Kaiju Kingdom podcast.tumblr.com. We are on Twitter as the Kaiju Kingdom, if I am not correct, because for some reason we have all these wonderful limits on how long our username can be. So there is no podcast on there. But, all our information is also on Facebook. We are on a Facebook fan page, facebook.com/the Kaiju Kingdom podcast. We are also, if you feel for some reason you do not want to troll us in public, but rather in private, you can always email us at the Kaiju Kingdom podcast at gmail.com. And Chris and I both have access to it. So hopefully over time you guys will figure out who's answering to you by our tone.
By a person who's very calm and collected, and by one rambling lunatic. So.
No, trollers would love you. Oh my God.
I have taken on many my time. Oh yeah, well, before I forget, I want to shout out a little love to the Kaiju Cast, who sent us a little love a couple of episodes ago. One of our listeners alerted me to it. I used to listen to them back in the day. It's not that I stopped because I didn't like them. It's just I kind of got caught up with a couple other podcasts, and now my current job situation doesn't allow me to listen to as many as I can, so I need to pick and choose what I listen to. But they are a very good show. They are one of the oldest Godzilla-based podcasts out there, so give them a little love at thekaijucast.com if you're not already listening to them. So just wanted to put that out there. And yeah, come on out to LA next week. I will definitely be there. Jessica should be there as well. You could come and press the flesh, as they say, and chat up. You could tell us in person if you love the show or you hate the show, or you're just very mediocre on it and it's just something that you listen to get through the day, or my annoying voice gets you motivated to do something in life because you don't want to end up like me. On that note, that will do it for us for this week. So for myself and
Jessica, hello.
We will see you next time.